Wow. I don't know where they're getting it, but they're hauling in the pollen. Check it out. Wow, they are loaded. Good job, ladies. Welcome to the house, to River Street. It's a beautiful Easter day. It's been kind of busy, and I just came outside. It's so nice out, and I just remembered that I brought the bees home down here to the house from Dad's house the other day when it was cold out. And I walked outside, and I was getting ready to drive up to Mom and Dad's, and I thought, well, is there anything I got to do before I leave? And I thought, oh, did I take that entrance reducer out? I forgot I had opened it up the other day, so I came back here and they're flying all over the place. I got a little video of them, but I thought I'd just kind of just get down here by them. You can see them just cruising in and out. They're really, really working. They got a lot of pollen coming in. And they're working on cleaning their box out a little bit too. So I just pulled that reducer out of the way a little bit more. I'm gonna get that pulled out here and let them do their work. It's good to see them back here again. It'll give me something to do here in the next few days. If it's really nice out, I might get in the box and just check it out, get that on video, let you see what it looks like inside a bee box, inside the brood chamber here. These two boxes is what they call the brood chamber, and when you build up above that, that's where you put the honey. They call them honey supers, and that's where they build the honey up through. But you got to pay attention to certain things, because the queen will work her way up and start laying eggs there too into your honey, and you don't want that. But there's a lot of information to learn, and I'll try to teach you guys what I do know, some little tips and tricks, and hopefully teach you how to not lose your bees, which is something that we did a couple years ago. So it's nice to have them. They're doing well, and probably get them treated here soon too, as we're coming in to late spring, early summer, and they'll be starting to really build up. Well, I'm over by the hive, and the game plan is that I'm going to get in the box and check them out. It's a pretty nice day today, and it's supposed to be same temperature tomorrow, but it's supposed to rain. So today's the day to get in there. I want to check and see if they took all that sugar. They're flying all this pollen in now, and I kind of want to get in there, look at them, see if the queen's laying or not. And possibly take the bottom box and make it the top box. A lot of times bees work their way up through, and so I want to make it to where she's working in the top box. I'm going to make her start working in the bottom box and work her way up back and forth, so that she'll fill it up really nice and not leave the bottom box alone. And while I'm doing that, I think I might also treat the bees real quick with oxalic acid. So we're going to see what we can do and go from there. So let's get in this box. I decided I'd suit up, because when you get in them, especially on a day like today, I mean, they're really working well right now, but they could get fired up pretty quick. I probably should throw some smoke on them, but I'm going to see if I can work kind of quickly, but move with slow movements so I don't get them too upset. They're just kind of buzzing me a little bit, but just they're just curious. So let's see. Hopefully they don't get too worked up when I get in there. Alright, so you can see they still have a lot of sugar. They're starting to build some comb up here, which I don't really want them to do that on the top lid here. So we'll just scrape it away. Try not to hurt any of them. And try not to move too quick to where they get nervous and wonder if they're getting attacked or not. I'm going to put this on the top of the other box when I move it around. And they definitely have some pretty good numbers. Well, I didn't have any luck finding the smoker, and they are really coming at me right now. They're not happy about it. So I think I'm just going to flip this box quickly and let them calm back down. Definitely feels lighter on the bottom. I'm not going to dig in through and see what she's up to too much. Let's see here, we're going to set this right here for now. While I'm here, I'm going to clean this bottom board off. Try to give them a little help. They don't know it. They think I'm here to steal their goodies or kill them. And they're just trying to be protected. There. That cleaned them up a little bit. Take this top, make it the bottom. Go, girls. Yep. Now, something I never understood initially when I was watching about bees, they said if you smell like a banana smell, that's not a good thing. They're giving off a pheromone that says, hey, attack this person or this enemy. And I'm gonna clean that off anyways. They're already kind of fired up. You don't want that mess in there. So that's what I'm smelling right now, is that banana smell. And they're trying to protect themselves. See, they're pretty fired up. All right, girls, I'm trying to be helpful here. Yeah, that's a lot better. We'll get this box on here. It should get them to calm down quite a bit. They're pretty smart. They're really peppering my face right now. Good thing I have this net on. There. Let's step away for a second, but they're putting that smell all over me. And they're thinking attack, attack, attack. Fire them right back up again. Jeepers. Woo! They are buzzing in my ear. Alright, I'm going to stick this sugar back on top for them. And put that lid back on. There we go. There we go. I'm done with that. Something I just noticed while I was doing that was this here. As I was pulling out that wax, that is bee larvae, which is good to see. I don't know, it must have been on one of the pieces of comb that I pulled out, but I didn't see it. So she must be laying already. So flipping that, the top box was definitely heavier than the bottom box. So when I flipped that there, it is getting all of her brood down in the bottom, and then she can start working her way up. So hopefully it wasn't too early to do that. I think it was right, but as long as they stay clustered in that area, we should be great. And she's working, and they're all working, so it's exciting. Probably be a little while before we get back into them again, just to let them do their thing. Once we're getting a lot of nicer days more consistently, then it'll be time to do some more bee checking and maybe split this hive into 2 hives. I'm doing an oxalic acid treatment now on the bees. I've got this piece hooked to my lawnmower and heating it up. And it takes about 1.5 minutes for it to get hot and to take the oxalic acid from a solid to a gas. And it'll go throughout the whole hive and treat them for mites. And you got to do this once a week for 3 or 4 weeks to kill off all the mites that are present in the box. So we're going to do this now, and then in a week do it again and again for a month, and hopefully that'll make sure that they're mite free going into spring and summer. I can see a little bit of the smoke coming out of the box now. So once it stops smoking, I'll shut it off and pull it out. I don't know if you can see the smoke coming out of the cracks in the box. Looks like the bees or a mouse was chewing on this box, and they'll fill that all full and seal that all up. There it goes. There's that smoke there. So this oxalic acid is to treat for varroa mites, which is a really bad parasite in most of the world, except I believe Australia does not have it. It's the only place. And so it's done treating now. I'm going to disconnect it and let it cool off before I open that up. But these bees, see all the bees out here, they're trying to get in. And the best time to work a hive is when it's really nice day out and they're all out working, because you have half the bees outside of the box and the other bees aren't looking to attack as much. But right now you can see all the bees that are coming back, and they've found their way in. There was a lot more of them piled up there a second ago, but they're coming back, just trying to bring that pollen back before it gets too cold. They're bringing it back, getting the workers to take it off them and store it and get back out there before nightfall. I got one here. Man, it's loaded with pollen. Let's see if I can get that closer to you. See how much pollen she's got on her? It's funny, some coming back without it and some with it. Maybe they haven't found out where it is yet, or they lost some of it on their way back, or maybe they're looking for pollen or for nectar instead of pollen. So I'm going to pull this out. Looks like there's some comb hanging down that I got with the hot thing, but all the oxalic acid's off of it. Ooh, it's smelling. So I'm going to leave the girls alone now. They got a treatment and got the box flipped. So I'm going to let them get back to just doing their work instead of trying to protect the box at the same time. And go inside and enjoy Easter dinner that Joy's working on, and enjoy time with the kids. Hopefully you liked the little time with the bees. Happy Easter. Well, I'm over here in my black raspberry patch, the little rows that I've put in, and I've got a couple of scoops of wood chips, and I'm going to put them in the buckets and just kind of go down through the rows, dump it in here, and try to put some mulch on here to hopefully keep the weeds at bay a little bit. And I'm going to be working in here, hopefully putting on some cross members on here to put some wires across to hold the berries up, so that way they will not reach the ground and put in new shoots. So it's time to put this mulch on. I'm just kind of looking around, checking to see if they're growing. We got some leaves popping out on this one, and a couple of the other ones are starting to shoot out, so that's good. The transplant was a success. All right, let's mulch these things. It has to be boring watching this, so I'm going to use the magic of the internet, and I'm just going to make this thing happen. Oh, wow, that was much easier. Yeah, it was half the work for me and half the boring for you. Well, that's all the mulch I have, so I guess that's done for today, and hopefully get these cross member pieces up and run some wire. I don't know, probably about maybe this high. What's that? 3.5 feet, maybe 4 feet. I haven't decided yet. So that's the start, and hopefully we'll be picking berries there this summer. Can't wait for that. Gotta get the rest of this cleaned up now, and I wish I could use the speed of the internet for that. It's gonna take me a little while to get that done. All right, on to the next project. I'm not sure what it is yet. I'll see you there. I said on to the next project, but this is like project 3 or 4 after that. I've been doing some other things that I figured didn't need to worry about. But I've got a whole bunch of, well, they're all over the place. Got a lot of flowers, a lot of vegetables, and this is a bunch of packages from like last year and the year before. We don't know if those are any good. And we were going to do some testing on those a week and a half ago, and we just never got to it. The thing to do would be to test for germination on the older things, and we're probably going to do that still. Take a wet paper towel, put seeds in there, roll it up, put it in a Ziploc bag, put it on top of the refrigerator where it's warm, and most of these packages say it on the back. Like, well, Riel, you're dropping them everywhere. These say on the back of it for germination, days to germinate, 7 to 10 days on these tomatoes. So you check them in about 10, 14 days and see if they started to go to having a root on them and everything, and then you say those seeds are good. Or you could put them in water for, I don't know, 10 minutes, and if they sink, then they're good. But that way's not as effective as the other way. We have a bunch of these indoor greenhouse things, and we're going to plant garden vegetables in a bunch of them, and we're going to plant some flowers in a bunch of them, and the girls are all going to help out. This is part of science class, homeschooling 101. Hopefully these will all start to sprout, and we will plant them in the garden or in the flower bed in a month or so. A lot of times, to be honest, we buy our vegetables and plants at places like Dansville Agway or places in Hornell, and plant them because it's a little easier, and we're usually like on to the next thing, on to the next thing. This year, since we have a little bit of time with the girls, a little extra, we said, why not? Actually, we bought these 4 or 5 here a couple of weeks ago, and these 3 here, or 4, I found those in our building out back from like 2 or 3 years ago that we were going to do this project that time too, but it didn't happen. So we're going to get planting. Some of them want to do flowers, some of them want to do veggies, so we're just going to split them up here, and you'll see how it works out. Okay, we have these all opened up. What is there, 36 tomato ones, and these have 72 each. So do the math. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times 72 is 700,000.
What is it?
150. 6 times 72, 480. It's late.
6 times what? Thanks, Siri. What's 6 times 7?
So we're pouring water in these. I don't know if you've ever seen these before, but they're like little hockey pucks of peat moss.
6 times 72 is 432.
I was on it. I was right there.
Sure.
Then you pour water in them, and it expands. So we're going to get this thing full of water, and it'll slowly blow up to about almost 2 inches tall, I think, 1.5 inches. I don't know how much water you need to put in them. I always put too much. So we're going to just blow through these. Anyway, we're going to plant tomatoes in that, even though they're from last year. We're going to hope they come up. And we're going to plant flowers in some of these and veggies in some of them. We're probably going to have way more than what we need. But the hope, well, Joy said, hey, the girls can sell seeds at sell seedlings at the side of the road. And they both said, we ain't doing that. But maybe they will.
Oh.
Uh-oh. Got a hole in one of them.
Get something. Yeah. Give me one of the trees.
Get a bucket.
Give me one of the trays.
And that's why you do it outside, I guess. One of these is really old, and or a couple of them are from a couple of years ago. They probably have a break in one of them. Okay, so we have most things planted except for this whole 72 count flat. We have
First are planted.
Evening Sun, Forget Me Not, Snapdragons, Lupins. This is something. What is that, Brielle? Foxglove. And you're putting in some mammoth sunflowers. We have lettuce, broccoli, peppers, yellow squash, basil, lettuce, beets, green beans, coneflowers, velvet, I don't know what that is, hollyhock, mammoth sunflowers again, parsley, chives, squash, broccoli, peppers, and tomatoes. I know somebody's going to say it, but we don't have any sage, rosemary, or thyme. We have parsley. Sing it, Brielle. Parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme. I don't know. There you go. You can play it on the piano, can't you?
No, I can play it on ukulele.
Oh, all right. So we're planted, except for this one. We got to put stuff in it. Somebody better decide. Okay, that's that. That's it. Video is over. I am done doing the planting of the flowers and the veggies with the girls, and it's time to edit. I got this thing right here. It's a little hint of something yet to come this week. I borrowed this from a buddy because I have a sausage attachment for my KitchenAid coming, but it is not essential. So it's not gonna get here until next week, and I wanted to do it this week. I got another item coming from a company called Camp Chef. You may have heard of them, you may not have. You could look them up. I'm pretty excited about that. It's going to be something that we're going to use all summer long, but when it's time for meat processing, making jerky, smoking sausage and snack sticks and things like that, that's when that's going to come in handy. But you'll see that. We'll probably do an unboxing and put it together and maybe cook something on it as soon as it gets in. So this is going to be used later this week. We're going to work on venison sausage links. I got to get some casings. I might get some from Wilson's. I'm going to do that. And I have some spices coming in from a company called Bearded Butchers. So I'm excited about that too. So this week, hopefully we'll get some items in and we'll get to start making some product. And I know it's not meat or venison butchering season, so to speak, but I sometimes will save some to the side when it gets to be not so busy. And I make some of my jerky I'll make out of season, and some of my other things I'll make out of season, just because I can vacuum seal it, put it in the freezer, get it out later on, and process it then. So that's what I'm doing with the sausage this week. So that's about it. You know, I've heard a lot of different things about what's going on with this virus, and it seems like every week they extend us another week that we need to have stuff closed down. Last thing I heard, the kids were, the last day they were going to be out of school till the 28th, but who knows, that's probably going to extend. I know New York City schools have closed completely. They're not going back this year. I heard Pennsylvania is not going back this year. I don't know. None of us know exactly what's going on, and we're just kind of riding it out. Just praying about the situation, and you know, sometimes it looks bleak, or sometimes it looks horrible, and then maybe we hear some other information that makes it sound a little bit better. We'll see. Hopefully everybody's staying safe. You know, we're trying to do our best to do our part. Sometimes I think maybe it's too much, and sometimes I think maybe it's the right thing. So we're going to do our best. Hopefully keep putting out some videos and keeping people entertained through this, and hopefully teaching you some new things. Maybe everybody else can try to get planting their veggies in the house and get ready for their garden. You know, there's a lot of different things that we like to do here that maybe other people don't do. But when you're going to the grocery store and you can't buy stuff, or you don't want to go to the grocery store because you don't want to catch something, it's great to be able to walk out to the garden. It's great to be able to go down to the freezer with a bunch of venison or other things, fish and maybe beef in the freezer that you harvested yourself and prepared yourself. So that's what we try to do, and some people think it's a lot of work, and then sometimes you think, man, that was pretty smart. So hey, we love you guys. We're thankful for you. We're very thankful and blessed to be having some people watch the channel. It's cool to know that there's some friends out there that are watching and cheering us on. So keep watching. Let some people know that we're doing this. Maybe later on when it's turkey season or we're fishing more or hunting more, it'll be more interesting to some people. But right now we're just kind of doing family things. We didn't do the second Spirit Week this week. We're going to do it next week. Brielle said we needed a break. So we're going to give everybody a break, and then boom, it's going to happen again. The second wave of Spirit Week. That's what's happening. All right, we love you. God bless you all. And we'll see you next time. Have a great night. That's the end of today's video. This has got to be boring. So I'm going to... It's got to be boring watching this. So I'm just going to... It's gotta be what it has to be boring watching this. Oh, wow. All right, probably we can kill that.
My hands are wet, so I'm not going to. And feel like I got peed on. I'm following feet. I can't hold that side, Mom.
I wonder which one it is. This one?
Yeah.
Dang it.
Really? What?
It's pouring all over. Shut the...
Why do I know? Really? Why didn't you know? This is going to be a great outtake.
Why don't you go out and... are you holding something?
Oh, those are puffing up.
Yeah, they'll all do that, but...
Are we going to stop this?
That's the end of today's video.